I do think that this is going to make us much worse in hallway fights, but it will also potentially allow us to make just completely absurd numbers, which is pretty fun.
Even further, Future Teak here. This begins Act 3 of our Cruciball 1 run. Missed Act 1 or 2?
Yeah, we're in science mode, baby. I mean, okay, we want to hit AoE things. AoE it is. AoE. Wee. It's Igor. Sweet, glorious SuffeRing. Why do you want to hit AoE in a single target fight, Teak? Yeah, Poltergeist doesn't trigger the 8% reflect damage, so we won't take any damage back from the mirror. But we just got to kill anyway, so I mean, you know, it's all moot. Okay, good luck. No, not the fire, please. Hello? Thank you. Okay, that's enough. No. Stop it. Like a magnet. Like a magnet. Welcome, Oogie, welcome. SuffeRing is unusual and fun. It's unusual. I like it. How extraordinary. Yeah, I'm with you. We like it because it's fun. Okay, that's enough. That is enough. I'm hitting him with the bombs. No more of this SuffeRing. It's time for bombing. Not enough bombs. Taking damage time. Pain. Pain and punishment time. Sufrir? Look at Poltergeist go, hello? Can we be friends? Which is really cool. This has a substantial downside, scot-free. It's not just opportunity cost. Actually has a substantial downside, yeah. We felt it in that fight. Didn't think the ring would make us this weak in the early throws. I'm glad we took it. Yeah, it's a huge difference, right? Omega Orb, yeah, that's funny. We could. I think I'm still skipping. More refresh to even out ring? Yes, more refresh would be very nice. I would take a refresh orb right now, absolutely. Especially with Electro Pegnet. Yes, the Omega Orb there was takeable, but I don't think it makes us stronger enough because I think we'll survive hallway fights, and in the boss fights, we're just gonna... Yes! Ingot? Okay. We now can die in the minor fight. So let's don't do that. However, we should never die anywhere else. Like, we should not ever die, except for specifically in the fight, which contains 1,000,000 bombs. I don't think that we would have died before. Huh? Yes! 100% max upgrades, baby! Cruciball out of control. I mean, absolutely disgusting. Just disturbing. They added more fights with the red bombs. Having some amount of red bombs is not bad. It's specifically the fight that has a ton of them, because in that one, the base amount of bombs can do 60 self-damage. So we should try not to die. Dang it, I wish that I didn't have -2 damage for this fight. Oh boy. We're gonna make it. It's okay. Crit Somelos Fleece will bail us out. We're Gucci. Yes! Powerful! Finish the act max upgraded. That's the dream. That's the goal. That's the destination. I crave it. Teak, you shouldn't take fights. They're so dangerous. No. Navigation is easily the hardest part of the game. I don't know how anybody does it. Does Orbsium insta-break bombs? It does. I fear this outcome. I won't lie to you. Get to bombing! Can't change our target in this fight because those are lightning rods. Roll the bass. Sorry, Rhapsody. I almost got there. My R's got confused. Wait a minute, my R. Rhapsody. Thank you for the raid, boss. Hope you had a lovely experience with Stack Lands. Welcome, Republic. Hope you're well. Doing some Cruciball. Welcome, welcome, folks. We are currently figuring out the ins and extremes of potential power for Orbsium. An orb that I do not regularly take, but that I have been pleased with in this run so far. Welcome on in. How you doing, Raps? Good to see you again. Orbsium doesn't work with Ring. You're right, these numbers are too small. You're right. Confirmed the science. Orbsium does not have a positive interaction with Glorious Suffering in the sense that it's not multi-applying, which means Glorious Suffering is absolutely a skip. If it was working the way we thought, some of these should be 8s at least, because we just threw an orb of Zium. Zium orb! Thanks again, Raps, for the raid. Welcome everyone from the Republic. If I haven't made your acquaintance somehow, welcome to the channel. I'm sneakyteak, resident broadcast personality, so pleased to be here playing some Cruciball today. You may recognize me from Raps and Teak Take a Peek. Settle in. Take your time. Now, it's actually possible that we threw the low-level Orbsium there. I don't think we did. I think we threw the 3. But if we threw the low-level Orbsium, then our outcome might not have been strange. Actually, I'm pretty sure that we threw the level 3, but we do need to now double confirm that science. Navigation. It really do be this way. Please. Free me. How? How? That's amazing. This is Cruciball 1. Silvardo. Yeah. Bing. Ah, yes, gardener's gloves. There are so many plants from here. Okay, I'd really like to go left. But we were also so close to getting the Easter egg a minute ago. It's certainly possible. Let's try. So it goes. Ring just got buffed very substantially, Starlight, but you need a very specific setup for it to be worth. Ring really, really, really prefers orbs that already have very low damage, like Matryorbshka and Refresh Orb, and it basically requires you to have substantial amounts of refresh. Regardless of what you have, it will make you worse at hallway fights initially, and so it's one of the highest requirement relics in the boss pool. And if you do manage to activate it, the output is still not that incredible compared to just getting more damage, but it is takeable. It's not very high in my pick list. Okay, we're gonna take some self-damage. Hopefully a manageable amount. Easter egg is if you can blow up all the bombs in the chest, you'll get a free extra relic. You can only do that once per act. But it does work, and it is pretty sweet. Oh boy. Probably want to skip the Orbsium for this fight, huh? And to that end, probably Poltorpgeist too. I'm actually really pleased by how well we've been able to mitigate potential incoming damage so far. Just by virtue of Magnet getting nerfed. When Magnet was super, super strong, this level was very deadly. Now that Magnet wears off very quickly, it's not nearly as scary, is my finding so far. Like, I even think we can just go there and we'll probably be safe. So far, so good. We're still only on 1 Mega Bomb, I think. We'll probably hit 4. There's 2. Yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, I was so furious that I couldn't just break the run in half based on abusing the Easter egg nicks. Because we got the trivial setup. We had enhanced gunpowder and single and short fuse, right? We had the guaranteed setup. And so I was so stoked that we were about to just go absolutely ham. Nice. Leaving on max health. Double fully upgraded Orbsium. We're living large. So for those of you who are joining late in the run, here's our setup. We started with Strange Brew. You can see that in fights there's some number of these green pegs, refresh pegs, and crit pegs are these yellow with the exclamation point. These are special pegs. They give you a special effect. The refresh peg will refresh all the pegs on the board. Let me throw this Orbsium and keep talking. The crit peg gives you a crit, which lets you go from the lower damage number to the higher damage number, usually, on your orb. The downside of these special pegs is that they don't do any damage of their own. They just activate an effect, unless you have Strange Brew. So now they function like regular pegs in addition to doing the powerful thing. Okay, so that's that effect. Then we took Echo Chamber. Attacks deal 10% of the previous attack's damage as bonus damage. So you can stack on. If you have a very, very big hit, you'll get to carry a lot of that value forward to your next hit. It's a pretty cool effect. I totally forgot that Poltorpgeist tends to perform very badly when there are voids. Oops. Look at all that healing. That is sweet. We're totally safe here because we only get meleeed by one at a time. Every time they hit us, we're going to heal off more, so I'm just not worried at all. Well Done Steak is a heal when we reload. That happens when you go through all of your orbs and then have to cycle again. I talk about my orbs in terms of a deck. It's not really a deck, they're not really cards, but I think it's a convenient way to understand it, especially given that I've played like 3,000 hours of Slay the Spire, right? So we have a deck of orbs. Whenever we reshuffle our deck, we get healed by Well Done Steak. Crit Somelos Fleece is a special effect. It says, instead of just getting 2x from crits, or actually it's not 2x, it depends on your orb. So it's usually about 2x, but it depends on the orb. Instead of just getting the standard crit damage, first get the crit damage, and then every time you hit a crit again, so say we hit this crit over on the left and then another, stack on another 1.3x damage modifier. Oops, I meant to skip a orb and then I did it anyway. This can allow you some of the craziest numbers in the game. Crit Somelos Fleece is the way that in one of my YouTube videos playing this game, I managed to hit 185,000 times 2 damage. I have heard of larger numbers, but I've not seen them yet. That's far, far, far more damage than you need to kill any enemy in the game, so it's a fun effect. Bad Cheese says deals some amount of damage every time you reload. It's called cheese for a reason. It's potentially one of the cheesiest relics in the game. And it can allow you these absurd infinite combos where you can do unlimited damage without ever taking damage. It's pretty fun. But it used to be very slow, and so they changed it to scale. Not super relevant to this run. Refreshive, whenever an enemy is defeated, refresh the board. So in multi-target fights like that one, we kill an enemy, we get all of our pegs back. Gonna skip everything. Electropegnet was our first boss relic. Electropegnet says you have a weak magnetic attraction to pegs and a strong magnetic attraction to special pegs and bombs. This fades over time, the magnet kind of wears off, but you'll find that it's really, really powerful for getting a lot of value out of levels. We also have Refresh Shield, refresh the board on every reload, so just like we're healing on reload, we're now refreshing. Lucky Penny gives us 2 more than the base crits on the board. Powder Collector gives us random bombs when we hit a bunch of peg. Bomb Baton gives us more bombs to start. Glorious SuffeRing is another boss relic that dramatically reduces your base damage, but then lets you scale damage by hitting pegs. Infernal Ingot is a special event relic that gives you healing and does damage whenever you hit pegs. And finally, Gardener's Glove makes us do more damage to plants. There are no plants in Act 3, so it's totally useless. This was a lot of information. And if you're brand new to the game, you're like, thank you, Teak, for being an encyclopedia. I can't absorb all that, but let me give you the most important tidbits. Right now, the biggest backbone of our damage is in Orbsium. These are orbs that hit one peg multiple times. And this is really special because it means that when we hit refresh, we refresh multiple times, which means we get multiple heals from Cookie. When we hit crits, we affect crit multiple times, which means we stack up crit Somolos. When we hit bombs, we set them off instantly because we hit them multiple times. We arm them and then we detonate them all at once. So Orbsium and interactions with special pegs, that's the backbone of damage for this deck. Our last boss relic made us slightly weaker on that front, because now our Orbsium starts with no damage, but once we scale up the pegs a little bit, it starts to get out of control. And hey, Infernal Ingot is one of the strongest relics in the game. We have 50 max health instead of 100, because in order to take this relic, you have to lose half of your life, but this lets you steal 1 life for every 5 pegs hit. I don't know if that interacts positively with Orbsium or not. We should test that in this next fight. In other words, are we getting 4/5 of a life point every time this hits a peg? That would be my expectation, but I don't actually know. This says every 5 peg hit. And I don't know if that's differentiated from triggers or not. We'll see. Yeah, you're welcome, Die Chopper. There's a lot going on in this game, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to some of the same major synergies. You're usually synergizing with getting lots of effects out of special pegs, you're synergizing strongly with pushing lots of damage via bombs, or you just have a couple orbs that you're scaling ludicrous damage with and you're trying to just play the maps. The third one is the least common, and it's really, really interesting. I'd say that the first 2 are far more common, and we're in one of the first 2. Says the walls of this section of tunnel are reflective and fragmented like a shattered mirror. You catch glimpses of various Peglins holding out various orbs that are just beyond your grasp. Or are they? Randomly removing half of our orbs scares me greatly because we could end up removing our most important orbs, but getting a mirror orb, that sounds fun. This is a special orb. Every time you shuffle your deck, every time you reload your orbs, the mirror orb comes in and it randomly becomes one of your other orbs. That's what it does. So based on what I'm looking at, mirror orb randomly became a Baborb this time, which is cute. Pulse Orb Guy's not very good here, but it also will result in no self-damage, so we'll just use it. The problem is it tends to get voided. It tends to get voided, but we'll still use it. Because we'll get no retaliatory damage from the mirror. Hold up. We totally did get retaliatory damage there, didn't we? Okay, I had that wrong. It's only targeted damage like Orboros, or sorry, like Orbalisk that doesn't get retaliated. Yep, I had that wrong. I thought that AoE was also safe against mirror, and it might have been at some point in development, but we certainly just took a reflect. There's no doubt. So I'm guessing then that means it's only the targets. Ball Lightning, Orbalisk, Orbsium, targeted damage effects, all of the projectiles, including AoE, I guess, are getting reflected, so apologies. It can be hard to keep track of all the effects, huh? It solves your health problem so well. The ingot, yeah, it's incredible. The only major downside of ingot is that it can put you in a position where you could instantly die to mega bombs. But that's really it, right? And that's usually something you can navigate around. This void is gonna get my goose in a real way. This fight, we're really gonna feel the negative effects of Glorious Suffering, that's for sure. Let's make some bombs. Yeah, and we're having a lot of trouble healing. We're really in trouble here, actually. Genuinely. We've got to get to one of these refreshes, or we've got to kill this worm, but we can't target it because there's a lightning rod. This is really spooky. There we go. Now we're doing things. Yes! Yes, we got one good hit. Okay, can we talk about Dagorb? Dagorb just saved our bacon. Because even after you take Glorious Suffering, it still has 10 base crit damage. Which means that you can live. Everything else was just doing nothing. But Dagorb got one crit hit, and all of a sudden we're okay on the map. Go Dagorb. Thank you, Dagorb, for my salvation. Yeah, no lie, right, Johnny Devo? Yeah, that event is very scary. I think if you get it early on, you might take all the removals, right? If I saw that event very early, and I don't know how early you can see it, then yeah, sure. Why not take the removal, right? Why not take the removal, because then you'll have such a tight deck for whatever you pick up. Yeah, I hope we do get a chance to show it off again, Nyx, because now it scales quite aggressively, so. Yep, that's one of my favorite ways to just do enough damage is stones and orbalisks. Yep, that's right. Johnny Devo said when you threw Orbsium, Ingot was counting down like normal instead of rolling around back to appearing to go up to 1 each time. So I assume you don't get 80% of HP per Orbsium hit. So Orbsium has been hard-coded to not work with some things that it should work with, which is really fascinating. My suspicion is that prior to the full early access release, Orbsium was too strong. And I think I've even read this, that at some point in time, Orbsium was just unassailable as the strongest orb in the game. And so it's been nerfed. A lot of its interactions have been nerfed. But they're nerfed in a way that's just confusing, right? Because you would think that Orbsium would work with Ring of SuffeRing. So that's good to know. I'm glad we did the science. Thank you for watching. I appreciate. You don't think you can see the event before Act 3? Yeah, that makes it pretty hard to take remove half. Yes, Snakebird says you can get the remove all orbs event in Act 1, Orboros. Act 1 through Act 3, and I've taken it in every act. Yeah, Pie Guy said Orbsium used to be 3 hits on level 1, which was crazy strong because it meant it had base damage of 3/6 even without synergies. Okay, so it's probably gotten pretty well goosed then. You get in there and you make a ruckus. Nice, nice, that's awesome. And the ambidextrary really helps you get through your stones to the orbalisks, right, Nyx? Appreciate y'all talking about your fun and cool and powerful runs. It's cool to read. I end up learning quite a lot too, actually, from reading what kind of runs other people have gotten off the ground. Okay, let's not get exploded here, huh? Explosions! So long as we can hit any bombs. Oh, wow, Electro-Pegnet is kind of doing something evil here. Do you see what it's doing? It's getting pulled in a way that it's actually avoiding a lot of this damage. That's really curious and also really scary. No? Okay, good. We hit a Mega Bomb, so we're safe. We'll quit taking so much damage, good. Can we report this stuff to the dev? I mean, I think it's intentional, but if you want to report the language, you can absolutely give feedback in the Discord, yeah. Red Nexus Games Discord is on their websites. I definitely, if you're interested in giving feedback on this kind of thing, I recommend it. The biggest problem that I have during stream is that I don't have a good process to write this kind of feedback down, which is really what I need. Because I come up with all these things I notice, and then I intend to give them to devs, but then I just forget. I just don't have the chance to email them or whatever. I usually have a close contact, but I just don't get around to it, which I feel bad for. But yeah, Discord, for most people, I would say Discord's probably the best way to give this kind of feedback, and they do read it. They're pretty active in their Discord. What's the point of removing all orbs, though? Is it just game over, asked Primus? It gives you a special event orb. The only way you can get it is through that event. It's Ouroboros, and it's one of my favorites. I've also lost a lot of runs recently with Ouroboros, but it's special. Yeah. It's a single orb that has 50% echo and persist of some amount, so you can fire it over and over again without reloading. It's pretty cool. And then you have a very, very, very tight deck, right? Because you've only got one orb. Snakebird said, Orbsium still seems to be gaining damage even while it's ostensibly 0-0 and hitting non-upgraded orbs. Are all hits after the first benefiting from the +2? They can't be because some of the numbers I've seen have been odd, Snakebird. So what I actually wonder is if it's this. I have a suspicion that what's happening is Strange Brew is giving us value. New maps are scary in interesting ways, I agree. Unless, one thing we haven't verified is, can you have negative damage numbers? Because some of our orbs should actually be in the negative because of Glorious SuffeRing. Is it calcing from -1, and then you have to actually get +2 before you're positive? Or does it just set down to 0 and go up from there? I don't actually know. I haven't scienced that. Oh, I'm so glad, Impartial Panda. Yeah, I'm enjoying making all the YouTube. It's been busy. I'm super overwhelmed, but it's been fun to make. Welcome to the final boss! Oh, wow. Didn't this used to be all Mega Bombs? No, you know what? I'm just thinking of Sapper Sack. It's always been a bullseye, right? Because that's kind of the theming. It's 4 targets. And you want to get to the middle because then you'll stack up a ton of damage. Yeah, Sapper Sack. Good call, folks. Good call. Thank you. Is it time to invoke the right of Orbsium? I suspect it is. Yes. Oh no. Teak, please! I was too early. I thought I could catch the... I was trying to hitch. Listen, it's not my fault. I just work here. I was just trying to hitch. I don't think we can lose this fight because between Glorious SuffeRing and all of our heal effects, even if we play horribly, I don't think we can lose. So I'm just not too worried about it, but still, that was silly. The only thing that really threatens us is actually, weirdly, Powder Collector. Powder Collector making just a boatload of bombs that can't be returned to regular pegs. But I don't think it'll be so many bomb conversions that we end up in a bad position. I think we'll be fine. Like, we're about to just do so much damage right here. If we hit one more crit, we might just win on this shot. And that's... ostensibly, that's possible. Come on, do it. Come on. Show the chat. Make it happen. Yes! That's so big! That was a 1500 damage AoE, and all of our pegs started at 0. I mean, that's hot. Let's let... Oh! Go, Orbsium! Hit the crit! Yes! If we had found refreshes or crits, we would be rolling in the dough. We probably should have retargeted, I don't know, maybe the purple? I'm not really sure. I'm gonna go for this one because it's got 3 crits in it. It's got crits in it. Goes to 11. Could be coming from Echo Box. That's a good point. Maybe we're starting with a little bit of damage from Echo. That's a good point. Can we lose by making too many bombs? Theoretically. I think in practice, you just end up doing so much damage in that case that you're still fine, but I don't know that for sure. Actually, I'm gonna hit this one because it'll bounce up and hit that one, huh? Yeah, let's do that. Woo! Spicy? Spice on the rise. Large, rapidly increasing spice values. Oh, dang it, we got stopped by bombs. One more hit. What are we gonna do it with? Orbsium, because it's been the theme. I think it's gotta be Orbsium. It has to, right? We have to do Orbsium. Get out. 10? Oh, okay, wait. Okay, I believe. They hit pretty hard. Don't mess up. Yeah, we got him. Oh, this number big. Ooh, big number big. One more crit. Come on, you can do it. 50,000, baby. Dang it, we killed him with bombs. Dang it. I was so ready to see big number big. Ye ol' Orbsium heal. GG. Your backdrop has Ring of SuffeRing. Oh, wow, check it out. We have the stuff from our previous run. Yeah, good call.